Okay, so maybe you're thinking about a career as an import-export manager in the beverage world.
Lots of people are, actually.
Yeah, it sounds kind of cool, right?
Yeah,
We've got all this info from RoleCatcher,
they're great.
but I don't know, it's a lot to process.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's where we come in. We're going to break it all down.
Absolutely, that's the plan.
See if this whole import-export thing, if it's the right fit for you.
Like finding the perfect vintage, right?
Exactly. But, okay, let's be real for a sec. What does an import-export manager actually, do?
All day, you mean?
Yeah. It's got to be more than just paperwork, right?
Oh, way more.
Yeah.
Think of it like you're orchestrating this whole journey for a product
Okay.
from where it starts to, ending up on a store shelf somewhere totally different.
Got it.
Could be coordinating with, I don't know, suppliers in Italy one day,
Fancy.
dealing with customs in France the next.
Yeah.
You might even need to, brush up on your Japanese for some sake deal.
Wow, seriously?
It's a global gig, that's for sure.
No wonder RoleCatcher talks about, negotiation skills being so important.
Oh, for sure. That and understanding how those international markets work.
They also mention, keeping up with global trends. What does that even mean?
Okay, so imagine, right, you're importing some super niche fruit juice
Okay.
from, the Amazon or something.
Exotic.
Totally. Then, out of nowhere, some celebrity chef is all over.
Oh, no.
Demand explodes. You got to be ready to scale up production, figure out new trade agreements, all that.
Sounds intense.
It's fast-paced, that's for sure. Never a dull moment.
And that's where that whole strategic thinking thing comes in, huh?
You got it.
But RoleCatcher also mentions the downsides. Long hours, lots of pressure.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't kidding, were they?
Well, it's not all fancy trips and sipping exotic drinks on the beach.
Darn.
Those long hours, they come from juggling different time zones, deadlines, and let's not forget those regulations.
Oh, right. Always changing.
Constantly.
Mm.
Did you know that even something like, say, what's on the label of a bottle can be totally different depending on the country?
Really?
Oh, yeah. And messing that up means delays, fines. Your whole shipment could get stopped at the border.
Yikes.
Not ideal.
Okay, so yeah, sounds kind of stressful.
It has its moments.
But all that considered, what's the upside? Why would someone choose this career path?
Good question. I think it's amazing for someone who loves a challenge.
Huh.
Someone who actually enjoys solving problems.
Okay.
And they got to be into that whole global business world.
Passionate about it, even.
Exactly. Plus, it can pay pretty well. And let's be honest, there's a certain thrill to it, right?
How so?
Knowing you're part of this whole system that brings drinks from all over the world to people's hands.
It's like you're connecting people.
In a way, yeah. It's more than just a job. It's a front row seat to how trade and different cultures all mix together.
So you've got me thinking about a career in import-export, but how do you even get started? Do you need, a passport full of stamps before you even apply?
That's a funny thought,
Right.
but it's not totally true.
So I don't need to be a world traveler.
Not necessarily. It's valuable for
Yeah.
sure. But RoleCatcher, they actually say those transferable skills, those are really important.
Transferable skills. Okay, what does that even mean?
So it's those things you pick up in other jobs maybe that you can bring with you.
Okay, I'm following.
Let's say you're amazing at analyzing data.
Data.
Yeah, like spreadsheets, spotting trends. That's huge in this industry.
Huh. So if I can predict, the next TikTok trend, I'm good.
Well, not exactly, but being able to analyze, let's say, market data or seeing those demand fluctuations coming.
Yeah.
Crucial for an import-export manager.
Interesting.
Or maybe you're just a natural negotiator. You could get a discount on anything.
I wish.
But those skills directly apply to working with, suppliers and distributors all over.
So even if someone, doesn't have a background in international trade specifically, they could still have something to offer.
Totally. Of course, education matters too. RoleCatcher mentions things like international business degrees.
Makes sense.
Supply chain management, logistics, those are all relevant. But they really stress this whole continuous learning thing.
Meaning, always be learning.
Yep. The import-export world is always changing.
So what do they recommend, besides a degree?
They're big on certifications.
Yeah.
Specifically, there's the CIPP, the Certified International Trade Professional.
Okay, got to write that down.
And the CSCP, Certified Supply Chain Professional.
Yeah.
These show employers you're serious, that you've got the knowledge.
Like leveling up in a video game.
Kind of.
I like it. So let's say you've got those skills, maybe a degree, even working on a certification. What's the actual path look like?
You're not going to be CEO right away.
Darn.
RoleCatcher, they lay out this pretty typical route,
Okay.
starting with entry-level stuff like an import-export coordinator.
What do they actually do all day?
They're kind of the glue that holds it all together.
Okay.
Prepping documents, tracking shipments, working with customs brokers, all the details.
Making sure it runs smoothly.
Exactly. It's a great way to learn the ropes, the industry jargon, start building your network too.
Hands-on experience.
The best kind.
So where do you go after coordinator?
Well, once you've got that foundation, you might move up to import-export analyst.
Analyst.
That's where those data skills we talked about, they really matter.
Oh, right.
You're digging into those trends, researching regulations, helping the higher-ups make decisions.
You know, it's less about like the doing and more about the strategy.
You got it.
Okay. What's next? Manager.
Not quite. Usually there's an import-export supervisor role.
Okay, makes sense.
You'd be leading a team of those coordinators and analysts, probably.
So leadership skills are getting important here.
Hugely. You're not just managing tasks, you're managing people, motivating them.
Got it. So the top spot is import-export manager.
Bingo. You're calling the shots, making those international strategies, managing the budget.
Sounds like a lot of responsibility.
It is. Challenging, for sure, but also rewarding if you love that fast-paced global environment.
All right, so we've covered a ton about being an import-export manager. The skills, the career path, all that.
The good stuff.
Right. But let's say you're ready to apply. You've got your resume all polished.
Looking sharp.
How do you actually nail that interview? Convince them you're the global trade expert they need.
That's where RoleCatcher really comes through with some practical advice for today's job market.
Oh, good.
They keep saying it's not just about impressing the hiring manager anymore.
Wait, really? Who else is there?
It's the algorithms, man.
Algorithms? You mean like robots are reading my resume?
Kinda. A lot of companies use these AI tools to screen candidates.
So my resume might be seen by a bot before a human.
Exactly. That's why RoleCatcher says tailoring your resume for each job is super important now.
So I can't just, like, send the same one out to 100 places.
Not if you want the best shot. You got to speak the language of the algorithm.
Okay, now you're just messing with me. What does that even mean?
It's all about keywords. Let's say a company wants an import-export manager who knows about Asian markets.
Right, they'd say that in the job ad.
Exactly. And if you've got that
It
experience,
needs to be on my resume.
front and center, use the same language they do even.
So, like, I'm almost reverse engineering the job posting.
You got it. And it's not just the words, it's how it all looks too. Clean, easy to read, algorithms like that.
They're picky, these bots.
A little bit. But hey, RoleCatcher actually has this AI tool itself.
No way. What does it do?
You upload your resume, it analyzes it,
Yeah.
tells you how to make it more algorithm friendly.
That's actually really cool. But, okay, let's say we get past the bots, impress the hiring manager, land the interview. Now what?
Prep. Luckily, RoleCatcher has this huge database of interview questions,
Specific to import-export.
especially for beverage industry folks.
Okay, like what? Give me an example.
Well, they've got the classics like, tell us about your experience managing imports and exports.
It's broad.
It is. That's your time to shine. Give concrete examples of what you've aced before.
So they know I can handle it.
Exactly. But then they get into these trickier ones like,
Hit me.
how would you handle a shipment delay because of, I don't know, a volcano erupting?
Volcano. Okay, a little specific.
Right. Or they might ask, how do you stay updated on international trade rule changes?
Constantly refreshing my inbox,
I
probably.
want to see you think on your feet, how you problem solve.
It's like the world of import-export. There's always something happening.
Always. Any advice for handling those curveballs?
Well, RoleCatcher does provide some sample answers.
They do, yeah. They encourage you to really think it through, connect your skills to the question.
So it's not about memorizing, it's having a system.
100%.
Yeah.
But here's the thing about this field, and I think it's important.
What's that?
It's not all about spreadsheets and shipping containers.
There's a human side.
Big time. RoleCatcher, they're huge on cultural awareness.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Building those relationships matters in any job, but especially when you're dealing with different cultures all the time.
It's essential.
So what kind of cultural tips do they give?
They talk a lot about those nuances,
Mhm.
How people communicate differently, business etiquette.
Like how you greet someone, even.
Exactly. Even email etiquette changes from country to country.
It's amazing how these little things can make or break a deal.
Totally. And they really emphasize that it's a journey learning about other cultures. You got to be adaptable, respectful, always learning.
So, to wrap it all up, it seems like being a successful import-export manager, it takes a lot more than just knowing the technical stuff.
It does.
You got to be strategic, a good communicator, kind of a cultural chameleon,
And okay with a little chaos.
because the world of international trade.
Never sleeps.
Mhm.
But it's exciting, right?
Definitely. So, to anyone out there dreaming of bringing the world's best beverages to the masses,
Cheers to that.
maybe this career path is the perfect blend for you.